Hello, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about a mod called Total War Rome Rerostered, or Total Rebalance Rome Rerostered. Now, this mod is a gameplay-focused mod that really, I think it increases the strategic element of the game. I really appreciate a lot of the changes it adds to the game. So without further ado, let's start up a campaign as one of these factions, and I'll start explaining what this mod does for both campaign and battle. Alright, so here we are in the campaign map, and as you can see, I'm playing as Thrace. And one thing I want to mention here is that recruitment times in this mod. This is probably the most obvious change. In this mod, recruitment times are increased a lot. So you'll find militia type units, levy type units. Those units take 2 turns to recruit. And then units with a bit of training take 3 turns, and then cavalry units and heavy units. Those will take 4 turns, right? So units like Equites, for example, will take 4 turns. The Greek cavalry, even though they're not great, they will take 4 turns. And I actually appreciate these changes because, for one, it reduces stack spam, but it also increases that sort of strategic element. It makes it so that you get more decisive battles, right? So it's more difficult to replace your troops. In terms of battle, you can see that all units have been rebalanced. Right, so you can see the defense values have been completely changed. The attack values, depending on the type of weapon you have, I think things have been made a little more strong, emphasized, right? Like the armor-piercing nature of axes, for example, has been made more apparent in this mod. So in any case, let's get into a battle, and I'll quickly talk about some of the changes made for battles. One thing I should mention before getting into a battle here is that there are a lot more units in this mod. For example, you have militia swordsmen, right? You've got, I guess Thrace is perhaps not the best example, for a faction with a lot more units. But as you can see, even ports, for example, give you the ability to recruit Cilician pirates, right? And these guys, they're also recruitable by Rome and other factions as well with ports. Now, while I think this hasn't been done in a way that is fully historically accurate, I do appreciate the idea that having a port will give you access to mercenary units that are available from other provinces, faraway provinces, because if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, right? Especially if you have, and things like that shouldn't be completely tied to the region you're in, because, for example, I don't know, in the medieval period, you had this usurper in Antioch called Philaretus Brachamius, and the core of his army was 8,000 Frankish or Norman troops, right? So if you think about it, if you have a very strict sort of area of recruitment, then such scenarios can never happen, right? So you have to, I think this is a good way to solve that. And actually, in bigger overhaul mods, that is something that I think a lot of people should think about. And Europa Barbarorum, of course, does that to a degree, but I don't think it does it as much as it could. But in any case, yeah, let's get into a battle, and I'll quickly talk about some of the balance changes in battles. All right, so as you can see, most of the units are vanilla. Pretty vanilla. Even the newer units, the militia swordsmen and things of that nature, those are also fairly vanilla. All right, so as we look at these guys push the ram, you can see that Battles in Rome Rerostered are actually quite nice because, you know, it maintains that vanilla sort of feel, but morale is increased and battles do not end in 2 seconds. So I actually appreciate that. I would say Rome Rerostered is somewhere between, it's definitely between Europa Barbarorum or Roma Surrectum and vanilla, right? So it's not as, but melee doesn't take as long as a mod like Roma Surrectum, or even as long as Europa Barbarorum, but I think they have achieved a nice balance, and that's something that is not that easy to do. Now, I'd say I definitely prefer this balance to something like Roma Surrectum. I think Roma Surrectum takes a little too long in terms of its melee. Europa Barbarorum, you can actually get morale shocks in there pretty quickly if you play your cards right. So I actually like EB's balance as well. I'd say my favorite balance, well, that's a question for another day. But in any case, I like the balance here. Rome Total Realism Platinum Edition has very nice balance in terms of battles. But let's get into a melee here, and we'll see our Falksmen completely destroy these guys. And as you can see, it took a little while to get these walls down, right? And the gate was actually, I was actually able to take down the gate more quickly. So that's actually another nice change in Rome Rerostered. I have to say, a lot of these changes I appreciate. This mod is definitely not, you know, one of those heavy, historically focused mods, right? It's not super focused on the historical realism, as you can see by, you know, everything maintained on the campaign map. Though I should say that there are a lot of quote-unquote DLC packs for this mod that actually really change things up, and I'll be talking about that in a little bit as soon as we get back to the campaign map and go over our conclusions here. But again, this is just a quick look at this mod, Rome Rerostered, because I think the mod creator, Jonko, has really done a nice job with this mod, and this mod really deserves some attention for sure. So as you can see, even though my Falksmen were just standing there fighting their hoplites who were in formation, the battle wasn't over that quickly. You know, they stayed in melee for quite a while. Now, I would decrease morale just a tad, perhaps, but I feel like this is a better balance than vanilla in terms of morale, that's for sure. And you know, I have to say, even though these were pretty heavy hoplites, and I didn't use the best tactics against them, once I was able to flank them with the cavalry, they were pretty much done for. Now, in a lot of other mods, I think they buff defensive units like hoplites a little bit too much, right? So that even if you flank them with a whole bunch of troops, they hold, right? They hold for a long time and they can even win, right? So I actually kind of prefer this balance that Jonko has gone for. I think he's done a really great job here. All right, so let's occupy Byzantium. Now, additionally, I want to talk a little bit about the modularity of this mod, which is kind of a funny thing to talk about. But in any case, you can get this mod with the vanilla map. This is the base mod. I just have the base mod installed. So this is the base map, base vanilla map. None of the settlements or anything have been touched, right? So even Artaxata is there. Now, I like this map, you know, so I think playing this mod with this map is a good place to start if you're interested in this mod, and if you're interested in modding the gameplay yourself, the campaign gameplay, battle gameplay. This mod is a good place to start for you to see what certain things you can change, right, in terms of modability of the game. But additionally, there are plenty of other patches, so if you don't appreciate, you know, having it take 4 turns to recruit a cavalry unit, then there is a essentially DLC patch on the Steam Workshop that reduces that. And there's another patch that reduces battle times. There's a patch that makes this mod work with Mundus Magnus. There's a patch that makes it work with Europa, the Europa 270 BC huge map by Webbird. Really, this mod is really nice. I really appreciate a lot of the changes it brings to the table, and I think it deserves a little bit more attention than it gets. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say for today about Total Rebalance Rome Rerostered. I say that quickly 10 times. Now, if you enjoy videos about the historical Total Wars and their mods, including Rome Remastered, Medieval 2, consider subscribing to the channel, consider liking this video, and I will see you in the next one later.